Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. We're going to be looking at a seriously fascinating breakdown of human psychology. And to help us really visualize this journey, I want to introduce you to our protagonist. Picture a highly ambitious stick figure. They've got these massive, world-changing goals bubbling away in their head. But where are they right now? Yep, sitting on the couch, endlessly scrolling on their phone instead of actually chasing those dreams. Now, does that scenario sound maybe a little too familiar? Have you ever felt like you've got these monumental aspirations but literally zero energy to pull them off? Well, if so, you are definitely in the right place. So why do we actually choose the phone over those big dreams? Let's dive right into this and explore why our stick figure feels like tomorrow just never comes. Even though they genuinely want to write a best-selling book or get incredibly fit. We've all been trapped in that cycle, right? You tell yourself, okay, I'll definitely start tomorrow. But then tomorrow turns into the next day and then the next. You want to do great things, maybe launch a new business, learn a language, or honestly just finally get your life organized. But the sheer thought of starting feels so impossibly hard that you just default right back to watching TV. Why on earth does this happen when we actually care so much about the end goal?
Section 1. The Trap, or Why Your Brain Avoids Work. You know, we usually throw the word lazy around as an insult, like it's this permanent character flaw. But the truth is, our stick figure isn't fundamentally broken, and neither are you. Laziness is really just a habit. It's a habit of avoiding tasks that feel too big or too painful. When a task feels enormous, like trying to save a massive amount of money or deciding you're going to run every single day, your brain literally sounds an alarm. It looks at the huge effort required and naturally seeks out the absolute easiest, most accessible comfort available. It's just a survival mechanism, an automatic response to feeling completely overwhelmed. But here is the incredibly good news. Because it's just a habit, habits can be changed. We can absolutely outsmart our brain's default settings.
Step 1, make it small. Because massive tasks trigger that whole avoidance response, the secret is to shrink the goal down until it is absolutely not scary anymore. Just think about the extreme contrast here for our stick figure. Sitting down to write 200 pages, that creates immense friction. It makes you want to run straight back to the couch and hide under a blanket. But writing just one single sentence today, your brain looks at a single sentence and goes, well, yeah, I can do that without even breaking a sweat. By making the task practically microscopic, you bypass the brain's defense mechanism entirely. Let's try another example. Say our stick figure really wants to be a musician. The overwhelming goal is trying to learn an entire, incredibly complex song all in one afternoon. That's a one-way ticket to frustration. The achievable micro goal? Just practice one single chord. Hold that chord, strum it once, and boom, you're done. The absolute key takeaway here is to train your brain to focus purely on progress, not perfection. Over time, those tiny, seemingly insignificant little efforts compound into immense, tangible results. Think of it literally like climbing a giant mountain. If our stick figure stood at base camp, looked all the way up at the clouds, and tried to jump straight to the peak in one single bound, well, that's impossible. You don't jump to the top of a mountain. You just lower your head and you take the very next tiny step, and then another. Small wins completely add up over time to cover massive distances. Step 2, create easy routines. Our ambitious stick figure just cannot rely on sheer willpower because, well, willpower is finite. Think of it like a battery. It drains throughout the day every single time you make a decision or resist a temptation. By the evening, your willpower battery is flat empty. As the saying goes, willpower runs out, but routines make things automatic. When you build a routine, you no longer have to sit there and debate whether to do the task. You just do it. Routines become these amazing training wheels that remove all the mental friction of decision-making. They guide our stick figures safely until taking action feels completely natural. So what does this look like in practice? Let's look at some highly practical, concrete examples of easy momentum routines that just obliterate friction. If your goal is exercise, put your workout shoes right next to the bed the night before. If it's productivity, just jot down a simple morning to-do list before you go to sleep. It could even be as simple as drinking a glass of water the absolute second you wake up. These actions are incredibly small, sure, but they build early momentum right from the start of the day. They create a structure that carries our stick figure forward on total autopilot. Step 3, the 2-minute rule. Now, this rule directly attacks the absolute hardest part for our ambitious stick figure, just getting started. The launch sequence is exactly where procrastination thrives. Once you're actually in motion, things are fine. But going from sitting on the couch to doing the actual work, that feels like trying to break through a solid brick wall. The magic here is promising yourself that you will apply effort for just 120 seconds, 2 minutes. If you want to read more, do not commit to a whole chapter. Commit to reading for 2 minutes, which is usually just about 1 page. Want a cleaner house? Just tackle one single corner of a room for 2 minutes. You're giving your brain an easy escape hatch, which ironically makes it so much easier to actually begin. It is exactly like pushing a giant, heavy ball down a hill. Picture our stick figure putting their entire body weight against this massive boulder. That very first push is incredibly hard, right? Muscles are straining, feet are slipping. But what happens after you finally get it to tip over the edge? Physics takes over. It rolls entirely on its own. The momentum just carries it. And human psychology works exactly the same way. Once you start for those 2 minutes, it is significantly easier to just keep going. And here is a crucial bonus tip for you. Reward yourself. Our stick figure absolutely must celebrate this simple act of starting. If you do your 2 minutes, give yourself a small reward. Blast your absolute favorite song. Take a short, completely guilt-free break. Heck, do a little victory dance. Rewards trigger dopamine in the brain, which makes the process feel incredibly good. This positive reinforcement is exactly what motivates you to come back and do it all over again the next day. The resolution: building a roaring fire. Before you build that fire, remember that literally everyone starts small. Even the highly successful people you admire most, they struggled too. They felt lazy. And when you try this toolkit out, you might stumble. And you know what? That is absolutely okay. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's just a necessary part of the process. If our stick figure stumbles, they just have to be kind to themselves, get back up, and fall right back on this 3-step methodology. Number 1, make tasks remarkably small. Number 2, create routines to act as training wheels. And number 3, use the 2-minute rule to obliterate that hurdle of getting started. It really is that straightforward. Right now, your massive dreams are just this tiny, fragile spark. Every single small action our stick figure takes, writing that one sentence, strumming that one chord, doing those 2 minutes of cleaning, it's like adding a tiny piece of fuel to that spark. If you keep adding fuel day after day, through small, consistent efforts, that spark will inevitably turn into a massive, roaring fire of success. I want to wrap up this explainer with a final, provocative thought for you. Look at our ambitious stick figure now. They're equipped, they're standing up, and they are ready to go. So what small step will you take today? Don't wait around for the stars to align or for the absolutely perfect moment to arrive, because honestly, it won't. Pick just one tiny, microscopic thing and take that step today. Your dreams are out there waiting for you. Go make them happen. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.